This is a spot that I've been picking away at for years here. One of those spots that I came into about 4 or 5 years ago, and kind of came in like a bull in a china store, if you will. This is probably, to be honest with you, this is probably the farm or the spot that, of all the clients, of all the properties that I hunt myself, all the spots that I go to in the country, this is the trickiest. And the reason I love hunting here is because because of that reason. It makes me think. It's one of those spots that the best spots, like we always teach and preach, the best spots isn't always the smartest spot to be in. And so I just had to take myself out. The last year I did, and it worked great. I had an opportunity at would have been the biggest Michigan buck I've ever killed, and it ended up being a good friend of mine. Ended up killing him that same season, so it turned out good. Glad if anybody took him, I'm glad it was him. And but anyway, what it is just this. It's the nearest point between thick, nasty bedding and a slash, and this is just the nearest point between the two. And it's just brushy, woody. I'll flip you around here so you can see it. It's just woody, nasty, thick, woody browse. And the bedding actually, over the years, because of a timber stand improvement that was done years ago, the browse has actually came out into this bottleneck a little bit further, and that's why it's changed. So it was kind of a changing when I started hunting, and it was a piece of ground that was already changing. So it's just one of those spots that just makes sense. It just takes a while to figure it out. And like I said, I do this for a living, and I was scratching my head on this one. So, but like I said, it keeps me on my toes, and this is why I love hunting this spot. Is you have to hunt it on a it's a great morning north wind spot, catching all the bucks coming out of all the deer coming out of there's a big stand of hardwoods up here, oaks, and then it's miles between here and ag, but it's a big stand of oaks, and then they come back through that slash. Some deer do bed in the slash, which is actually to the north of me, and so I'm side accessing. I've got right to left travel, so the deer coming from the north going south are in front of me, and the perfect wind for this is an east wind, which you don't get a lot of, which makes it tricky too. That's one of the curveballs that makes it what it is. And tonight it's a southwest wind. Pressure is high, temps are low. Southeast wind, I'm sorry. Perfect coming out of bedding, transitioning, catching them, transitioning back out into that oaks as they work their way to the north. And it's worked in the past. The message to this video here is there are spots out there that it might take years to figure out. Where I made the mistake on this is I started too far internal, and because of the ever-changing, kind of like ever-changing ag as I talk, but it was ever-changing timber, and now it's so thick in here and nasty that but trying to find those funnels, trying to find the nearest point, the pinch, the funnels. And when you're out in big timber like this, sometimes you walk into it and this big timber can be like, where do I go? But if I were to go in any internal of this any further, I've got about, not exaggerating, I think there's 6 trails that I know of further to the east of me here. And this time of the year, right before the pre-rut, like I said, I always pop this ground blind up, and this year I backed it out a little bit further than I was last year. And what the sign is, there's all kinds of white oaks, and they're actually really high producing little immature white oaks too. And these blue jays are throwing me curveballs here, but we're gonna get tucked in. This is one of those spots. Use the aerials, use Onyx Hunt, start from the outside in. Don't get too carried away by going internal, especially if it's a spot that you don't know exactly where that movement's going to end up by Pre Rut or Rut. And where I made the mistake on this, the first year I hunted it, I was internal too far early season, and now I don't even hunt it until about this time, 20th. And there's actually 3 bucks in here that we're after. I know 2 of them are still alive. The one never showed up in January, and they're both, or all 3 of them are 4-year-olds. So we're gonna give it a whirl. And welcome to the pre-rut, guys. It's finally here. If you push too hard early, you take that value away from this pre-rut and going into the rut. We're going to get tucked in. Good luck to everybody out there. Like I said, we finally made it. As I always say, guys, stay whitetail driven, and this is the reason that I say that, is because there's a lot of all the crap that's going on in the world right now. Like I've said before, it's just, you know, all of our heart and soul has got us to this point. And my goal, my mission in this whole business is to help you guys get to this point right here, to the pre-rut, and have something left, not be burnt out. And there's so much potential in the state of Michigan, Wisconsin, some of these high pressure states they hunt, that just the more people that we can reach, the more people that we can make understand that the power of low pressure and the quality of deer that are in these high pressured states, if you just have to hunt them right. And this piece right here is a perfect example. So hopefully we can get the old VXR to work here over the next week or so. Tonight's the first sit in it. It's a ground blind. First sit ground blinds usually don't work, but I was coming in here and I didn't want to come in here without mission, if you will. So we're gonna get tucked in, guys. Wish us luck. Wish you guys luck. Keep me posted over the next week or so here. I want to be involved with everybody's progress and strategies, and we'll see where the weather takes us. Thanks, guys.